What's up everybody, it's Mike back again today, MF Vape. Thanks for tuning into the channel. Right, today guys, I've got something a little bit special, but it's been out for a few months now, but it's pretty new to me. It's called the Recoil Rebel. This one is designed by OhmboyOC and Grimm, and it's made by Recoil. Got it sitting on top of the Furion by MF Vape. And I think it's a rather sexy little matchup, this one. So what we'll do is like we normally do. I'll show the box that it comes in. It also comes with a spare chuff cap, this one as well. And then we're going to throw some wick in the build that I've already got installed. And then we'll come back up top and I'll tell you what I really think of the Recoil Rebel. Okay, see you down there in a bit. Right, we're down at the table with the packaging of the Recoil Rebel. So I've got it in the gold version, indicated by this yellow sticker. Designed by Grimm and OhmboyOC. Manufactured by Recoil. And there we have hashtag GrimmyOC. On the side you'll see we've got these thumb indentations, which makes it very easy to pull off the lid. And this is how you're presented with the RDA in the box with the spare slam cap. Right, inside the box you'll also find a baggie which contains this Ultim piece, which is used to help minimise leaking. We'll show you that later on. We've also got a bag full of spare O-rings, 4 hex style gold plated grub screws, and the regular 510 pin is actually in this bag. It does come pre-installed with this, and there is a spare squonk pin in my particular version, which came as the kit that came with the actual Rage squonker. So that's a very nice touch. It does include that. Right, so here is the Recoil Rebel RDA. Now it's a 24mm diameter device. We've got the Recoil Rebel logo here, which is nicely engraved onto the side of this stainless steel RDA sleeve here. You'll notice that we also have 4 3mm size airflow holes. So you've got 2 lots of 4, 1 on each side. On the bottom you'll see we have hashtag GrimmyOC. We've got the Recoil Rebel logo there. We've got the negative post is actually held in via this flathead screw. Serial number on the bottom. And the gold-plated squonk pin has got a peak insulator surrounding it, and there you can just see it's just about protruding. So on the top you'll see we have the bespoke style drip tip or mouthpiece, very similar to what the original Recoil had on it. Now it comes very stiff, this particular one. If you actually want to take it off, I've had to use a pair of actual pliers, and you can see I've actually mangled the actual drip tip. Now I did put some tissue on here as well, but it was on there so tightly, that's just something to bear in mind. When you do get it, you want to try and get some e-liquid on there as soon as you can to help lube it up. Because if we just have a look at the spare slam cap here, you'll see that it just comes with no spare drip tip at all. So if we look around the top of it, we've got some beveling going on, but we'll go on to the actual airflow now. So at the moment we've got 2 holes open on either side. Now if you grab the top section and spin it round, we'll just start off with the 4 holes exposed on either side. You can now close off 1 hole at a time. So there we have 1 hole, 2 holes, 3 holes, and then if you wanted to, you could have no airflow at all on both sides. Right, so we'll now put it on the Rage squonker and take the top cap off. And have a quick look inside of here. So we've got some nice doming on this one. Really does aid with the flavour. Doesn't look like it's the thickest piece of stainless steel, this, but it's really strong. You can really not going to be able to deform this one at all. So I'm quite happy with that. So this is in two pieces here. So we've got an O-ring at the top there to help seal it onto the sleeve. And this is what the actual airflow looks like. It's a very intricate design. But yeah, very funky. These are, well, they're not sharp, but they're at right angles. So you just need to be a little bit careful. Right, on to the deck section. So we've got a similar to velocity style deck. You've got the two posts. We have the positive here, which you can see is surrounded by a peak insulator. And you can also see that it's actually separated. And this is your negative post. So basically you need one lead into the negative and one into the positive. So I've got it just so that you use the top hole for this leg. The bottom hole is down there. But because I've got the coil positioned in the centre, you really got no dramas with the actual wick getting interfered with the actual coil. Because of the way it's actually designed, it helps so that the cotton is just hanging freely. So it's a really good design, the way they have the two outer posts with the higher holes, and it just helps. So it's the same on the other side. So you'd have the higher lead up there and the lower one down there. So very easy to build on this one. We've got 4 flathead screws in at the moment. You can put the hex ones in if you so wish. And this is where the ultimate insert comes into play. So if you wanted to actually include this, you don't have to. It works perfectly well without it. But and then you can wick it up now. And basically what this is designed to do is, if you're dripping or squonking, should you actually lean it onto its side, it's going to be harder for the e-liquid to actually come out of the actual airflow holes. So I've been rocking it with it in, and I've had no problems at all with leaking with this particular RDA. Right, so we'll have a look at this slam cap now. This is actually in 2 pieces, but there's no airflow control on this particular one. Got an O-ring around the top here. We've also got the doming going on. So as you can see, we've got a nice thick wide piece of stainless steel, and it's thin around this edge here. And the airflow on this, you've got 2 like eye-shaped airflow, which is actually angled down. So you just need to position your coil accordingly. Now I've been rocking it in this mode the most because I actually prefer the flavour that this cap gives. And I believe that this is the same as the original Recoil. So we've still got the the actual engraving of the Recoil Rebel logo there. So that just pops back on. One thing I would say though, you really do need to put some e-liquid around here and around the inside of this one, because it is a really snug fit. It's I'll just try and show you. You can just see it's really hard to get it on. So in order to actually put it on, you need to make sure you have e-liquid around those O-rings. So we can show you that later on. Okay, so we've got our cotton in place. So you just need enough. I'm using this in squonk mode, so we just need enough so it's resting on the bottom of the base there. So somewhere around about there should do it.
I am a little insane, come on baby, feed my pain. I'm smiling all night at you, nothing makes me feel like you do. The effect of you, is it voodoo? Is it voodoo? Like a hurricane twisting around the side of my brain. Tell me, honey, do you feel the same? We'll catch that train to a higher plane. Feelings running untamed. Let's not give a thing a name. Your smile gets through my day when things don't go my way.
So if you just see inside there, we can still see the squonk pins. So we shouldn't have any dramas with that. but I'm using this particular slam cap. As you can see, I've got the coils more or less in line with that. Because the air is actually travelling down, it's going to be hitting the bottom underside of the coil, so I'm getting some banging flavour with it around that sort of height. But should you be using this particular cap here, I would suggest raising the coils up higher than that. So it's up to you, it's trial and error, but for this particular cap it works perfectly at this height for me. So it just show you in squonk mode, so there you can just see it filling up nicely. And because we've got this Ultim insert in, this is what keeps the actual juice from coming out. So as you can see, I've got absolutely none of it coming onto my hand, so it's a very nice feature. But just ensure that you've still got gaps underneath each of the coils for the airflow to travel. So that is the Recoil Rebel wicked up. So let's go back up top and I'll tell you what I think about it. Back up top, guys, we have the Recoil Rebel. Now I have got the slam cap with the snake bite airflow, because I think that it's slightly more restrictive and gives me the best flavour out of the two caps. Now this cap is also very good though, and I have, if I close off the bottom holes on here, getting really good flavour also. But you need to make sure you raise up your coils if you're going to be using like the top holes of this particular cap. Now I've got the gold plated version, which is also coated with a PVD, which sounds like it's really good, so I thought I'd mention it. Obviously that means that hopefully the paintwork won't actually flake off, because this is a high-end device. It retails for about $60 normally, about £50 in the UK. Now I got it as part of a bundle deal along with the OhmboyOC Rage Squonker. Got it from Vape Cloud in the UK, and it was £120 with, or £100 without basically. So I got the Recoil Rebel for an extra £20, and boy am I glad that I did. This is made from 304 stainless steel, the gold, the black and the stainless steel versions. There are some other colours out there, and I think they're made of aluminium. But yeah, check out the Recoil website if you want to find out more about that. But the overall machine quality on this is absolutely exceptional. The metalwork is so strong, it feels. If you lube up your airflow control rings and that, it's got a nice tolerance to it. It's really stiff at first. You do need to get some e-liquid on, like this one here, because I haven't been using it. It's quite hard to adjust the airflow. So you need to put a bit of VG on there, and it just gives you a nice resistance to it. But for the actual best flavour I'm getting though, it's definitely with the slam cap for me, because I like my restrictive direct to lung. So I'm just going to give you another toot before we ramble on anymore. Really lovely, smooth airflow on this, and yeah, it just works really well. To tell the truth, I am absolutely gobsmacked at how good this RDA is, and I know it's been hyped up to the hilt, and there's thousands of reviews out there already, but I thought that this one actually, I had to review it because it's such a good RDA. Now it has got some cons. This the chuff bit come off. It's really hard to get off this sleeve style drip tip. It's even more so with this particular cap. But I tend to have to use a piece of tissue and get some pliers on it to get it off, and I've ended up damaging it because I wasn't careful enough when I first got it. So that is a bit of a con for me. But the fact is, I'm going to just keep this one on here and just use it like that. But if you ever did want to put it on the other one, it's just a bit of a pain that it's so stiff, the tolerances on it. You need to get a lot of VG on there beforehand if you're going to be swapping and changing them over. and maybe it's just my one, and maybe the tolerances are just a little bit too tight on this particular one, but yeah, I do need to invest in a couple more aftermarket drip tips for this for sure. But yeah, so that's one con. Another con I'd probably say is with this particular chuff cap, it's an absolute bitch to get on and off. Once it's on there, you're laughing because then it comes off the mod nice and easy, but you really have to line up the airflows in front of the coil, because you can't adjust the actual airflow on this particular chuff cap, but it's just really stiff tolerances on here. Like the other one, let's see if I can get it off. Right, just about got it off. The other cap goes on really easy, no problems at all. But one other thing I would have said that would have been good if it had some sort of stopper, because with this one you can adjust the airflow on the mod. Like I say, once it's lubed up, you do have to make sure you're holding on to the actual barrel while you're twisting it. Otherwise you'll end up pushing it out of line, the airflow with the coils. But yeah, the tolerances on this cap are absolutely brilliant. But if I just show you, try and put this one on, I cringe every time I have to do it because I don't want to bugger up the O-rings on it. So what you do is line up the coils with the actual airflow. Someone will probably post on there how you're supposed to do it. You put it on slightly off and then twist it as you're doing it. But to do it that way, I don't know how you're going to actually judge lining up where the coils are. But now it's juiced up a bit, it's going on a little bit easier. But with it dry, I wouldn't even attempt to try and put it on there. But the looks of this, I think it looks absolutely mint, especially in the gold, because I've got it sitting on top of a brass gold coloured mod. I think it looks absolutely sick. It's great that it has those different airflow options in the cap. That's a really good bonus that you do have this chuff cap in it. I think it's perfect restriction for me. I think Grimm Green, this cap here I think is the airflow that's actually on the original. I never owned that one, so I can't comment, but it's a perfect restriction for me. So big thumbs up to Grimm Green for designing that one, and also OhmboyOC, of course. But to sum this one up, guys, before we go, come on, let's just have one more pull, shall we? Go on then. It is absolutely smooth flavour. The hit you get is immense. Excuse the clouds in them. And I'm going to put my hands up and say this is the best flavour RDA that I've ever owned. The Recoil by MF Vapes is a good single coiler, but this one just knocks it out the park for flavour for me. So yeah, for £20 I paid for it, on top of that Rage Squonk mod, I'm one happy bunny. So that wraps it up for this one, guys. If you did enjoy the video, please give it a thumbs up. If you're new to the channel and like to see a little bit more, please consider subscribing. There's plenty more reviews out there. We've got all sorts on there: RDAs, RTAs, mods, mech mods, squonk devices, the works on there. So it'd be great to have you on board. So until next time, guys, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you again very soon. Okay, cheers.